Yo, what you saying? So, in this video, I want to talk about how self-improvement, this idea of improving yourself, which is great by the way, has a caveat, and that is the fact that it's somewhat of a coping mechanism for the fact that you're lonely and you have no friends. Now, hear me out, right? I'm not saying that improving yourself is a bad thing by any fucking means. It's a great thing to do. If you're doing it authentically and you're not blindly following someone else, it's great. But it gets to a point where maybe you let go of a lot of the bad influences in your life. You have certain friends, or you call them friends, but they're not really your friends. They don't actually care about you, and you let them go. And you start focusing on yourself more. You start improving yourself, leveling up in life. And what a lot of people and myself have, kind of put to the side on this journey, you might say, is actually socializing and actually meeting new people and actually making friends who want the best for you. So I'll tell you a little story at least. So for me, I had a group of friends who I didn't believe wanted the best for me, and I didn't believe were a positive influence on my life. Now, I don't believe that you should never hang out with people who don't align with your values. You need to, truth is, not everyone in the world is in your mindset if you are trying to improve yourself. Not everyone has that mindset, and if you want to socialize with people, you're going to have to talk to people who aren't in that mindset, and that's completely fine. We don't judge those people, they're just how they are, and that's okay. But in terms of having close friends, you want people who want the best for you. And if there's people who do certain bad things and influence you and do those things consistently and don't respect your boundaries and will do those things around you and don't respect you and don't respect your values and don't really agree with your values maybe, and you're allowed to disagree, of course, but they're just people who are a bad influence on you, and them being in your life is actually a detriment, and you realize that, and you actually think about it, and you're like, okay, yeah, these people are not good for me. You let go of them. You realize that you kind of have no friends left, and let's be honest, it is hard to make friends who will be in a similar vein to you in terms of actually wanting to improve and actually want the best for you and actually have a positive attitude towards life and not just depressed and don't just play video games and just smoke a bunch of weed all day. But you get lonely somewhat. And the thing is, for me at least, you might actually enjoy being alone. There's a difference between being alone and being lonely. The difference being, of course, that when you're alone, you have freedom to just focus on yourself and do whatever you need to do. But then you're lonely, which means that you actually long for some kind of social aspect in your life. And this is the thing, as human beings, we're meant to be social. We're meant to communicate with other people. We're meant to speak to other people. It should be a normal thing to go out and speak to new people, but it's not nowadays because we're so heavily online. And it influences us, and we get into this mindset where we believe that it's a good idea to just completely isolate ourselves and just focus on ourselves and just keep leveling up. We get into this cycle, this dangerous cycle where all we're doing is improving ourselves and focusing on ourselves and leveling up in real life, that we forget to actually meet new people and actually socialize and actually develop good, healthy relationships. Friendship relationships, even romantic relationships, family relationships, all the relationships. They need to be part of your self-improvement. You cannot neglect them, because a lot of people do. Now, don't get me wrong, that there will have to be, for most people, there might be a time in your life where you really do have to just hone in on yourself and yourself only. And you have to be kind of selfish and just really go forward and really improve you as a person. But that has to be very temporary. You cannot do that long term, because what will happen is you focus on yourself so heavily and you keep telling yourself that, oh, I'm just improving myself, I'm just on self-improvement, I'm just leveling up, bro, yeah, I'm doing amazing. But then you realize you have no friends and you haven't socialized with anyone for months, and whenever you try to speak to someone, you just come off as weird, and people and you're just not social, and you just can't even speak to people. Speaking to people should be part of you improving as a person. You should want to be more social. You should want to go outside and speak to more people. You should want to go on a walk and say hi to everyone you walk past. You should want to interact with people. But being on self-improvement and improving yourself, you forget that an aspect of that is to socialize and actually meet new people. And I feel like this was how it was for me. I feel like if you're watching this, you might be able to relate to this. You are using, or maybe you are currently using self-improvement as a little coping mechanism for the fact that you have no friends and you aren't social and you can't speak to people. And listen, as I say, improving yourself is a great thing, but interacting with people, actually socializing and making friends needs to be part of that. And honestly, I'm making this video for myself because I've been neglecting this. I've been more social recently, speaking to more people, but I have been neglecting actually making friends. And if I'm being completely honest, you know, for a long time in my life, I told myself I was on self-improvement, just focusing on myself. I'm not going to hang around with degenerates, but at the end of the day, what is there to do, really? You have to socialize somehow. This doesn't mean to go out and be a fucking degenerate, but you have to interact with people somehow, and that means going outside, speaking to people. So I've started doing a lot more, and I feel better because of it. When you actually socially interact with people, you feel better. Whenever I talk to someone, I just feel better afterwards because I've actually interacted, and that's how we're supposed to be as humans, you know? And so if you're using this thing of focusing on yourself as an excuse, and you know it, you're using it as an excuse to just not go out there and actually meet new people and make friends who would share your values, because the truth is you can do it online through these communities, and that's great. But then what? You're probably paying money, and you're probably just getting a bunch of inputs and influences and desires pushed onto you that you don't need, and they're only going to diverge you from your true path in life. That's what happened to me. But you need to go out there, go to the gym, you know, speak to people, go out into the real world and find people, or even maybe join a community and then find people who are near you and then meet up with them consistently and develop those relationships in real life. We're meant to have real life relationships. And yeah, of course, having friends online who are a positive influence is a lot better than having real life friends who are losers. But you still need that influence in real life. That's what we really long for as human beings. And it's something I've been neglecting. And I don't want to make this mistake any longer. I want to go forward actually making more friends and making new friends and speaking to more people. And I hope that you want to do the same, because focusing on yourself, it can get to a point where you are just neglecting. And the thing is, this whole self-improvement thing is not something that you're on. I made a video about this previously. It's not something that you're on. You're not on self-improvement. It's a lifestyle. At the end of the day, this is your life. You are just trying your best all the time to be a better person. That's really all it comes down to. You're not on fucking self-improvement, all right? I don't like when people say that, because it also implies that you're just on this like one cookie cutter way of improving yourself and just neglecting things that you actually want to do or are actually interested in because you've been told by someone else, oh, you can't do that because it makes you a degenerate. But that's your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is just trying your best to be better and improve yourself every single day. That's a lifestyle. That is your life. That's how human beings are supposed to be. We're supposed to improve as people and become better people, more likable people over time. And that includes being more social, and it includes actually going out and speaking to more people. So if you've been neglecting that, I highly recommend that you just get out of your house a bit more and start speaking to people. Go on walks, say hi to people, you know, just join a new club. Start socializing. Start speaking to more people. Find friends. Find people who align with your values, and start consistently meeting with them and start seeing them and start speaking to more people. As I say, that's all it really comes down to. This is part of your improvement. Don't neglect this, and don't use improving yourself and self-improvement as a cope to not go out and speak to more people, because you're not on self-improvement. It's a lifestyle. Improving yourself is a lifestyle. It is your life. You're going to be doing this forever. Stop telling yourself you're on self-improvement as an excuse, all right? So yeah, just a quick one. I hope this video resonates with you. If maybe you need to hear this message, because I know that I fucking did for a long time. That's why I'm making this video, because I wish I heard it sooner. But yeah, boys, hope you enjoyed, and until the next one, stay focused.